Okay, if you haven't already, please make sure that you put your first and last name on your packet. If you haven't already, let's make sure we put our first and last name on our packet. Today is the 12th, okay? Counting today, we have 5 days until we're out for our break. Friday is our last day, and then we come back January the 4th, okay? All right, let's do it. This week, our warm-up is going to be different little sheets. Today, we're doing inequalities, and tomorrow it'll be on functions, okay? We instead of our homework, we have like a little project that we're gonna do. It's 3 problems. It's gonna be simple, but it's something that's real easy and something that's gonna help you boost your grades a little bit because some of our grades are kind of on the low side. All right. Um, our essential questions are on the board. Describe how to solve inequalities. What is a function? And how do you use the vertical line test to determine if a graph is a function? Okay, all of which we're going to do today and tomorrow. We're going to do inequalities today and functions tomorrow. Functions is real simple. We don't need to spend more than a day on that. Okay. Our test is going to be on Thursday. We're going to do a study guide on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we're going to take our test. Okay. Um, We're going to work on inequalities first after we write our homework and stuff in our planner. And then there is a coloring sheet that we're going to do on inequalities. And the color pencil should be on your desk, okay? That's what we're working on today. And project is going to be your homework for this week. You're going to work on the project. And again, you could probably knock the project out in one night, but we do need something that's going to help us with our grades because some of our grades are kind of low. I'm going to pause for the calls to give you a chance to write and take out your planner. All right, let's write down our goal for this week in our planner. Let's write our goal down. This is the 12th. So we have 12, 12, 12, 12, 22. Okay, my goal is to make sure that you get help for your project. Your goal could be to make sure that you complete your project, make sure you prepare yourself for your test, make sure you make up your makeup work. There's a lot of goals that you could have for this week. Pause for the calls. All right, let's do a new sheet in our planner. New sheet in our planner. This is week 6. Let's do a new sheet in our planner. This is going to be week 6. So week 6, like it says on our packet, goes from 12, 22 to 12/16 Friday. Okay, this is quarter 2, week 6. No virtual tutoring this week. Math 8, homework. We're going to just work on our project. Again, you could probably just knock it out in one day, or you can just do one problem tonight, one problem tomorrow, whatever. I am going to give you class time to work on your project if you need it, but that's what you're working on. Okay? That's it. That's all. All right, there is a sheet that you had on your desk that looks like this. Multi-step inequalities. We're going to use the same rules that we use for solving equations, for multi-step equations. The only thing that's different is that if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, then the inequality is going to flip. Okay, so at the top, I'm going to do a little star. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, the inequality will flip. If multiply or divide both sides by a negative. The inequality flips. Super duper important. All right. Section 1, come on, bathroom. Pause for the cause. All right. So we're going to do some of these together. Beforehand, I'm going to show you this symbol, not like the angle symbol, but this symbol right here is less than. It kind of makes an L if you turn it like this. It's the less than sign. If it's going in the opposite direction, this is your greater than sign. This is your greater than. This is your less than or equal to. And this is your greater than equal to. Less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to. We'll pause for the cause. Okay. So now we're going to do the first, we're going to do some of these problems together. I'm going to do the first one, and then you're going to do the second one. And then I'm going to do the third, and then you're going to do the fourth, okay? All right, so let's look at number 1. I'll show you how to do this. This is a different kind of problem because before you can do or isolate the variable, you've got to get rid of this divided by 3. What is the inverse of division? So in order to get rid of this denominator, which is 3, you have to multiply both sides by the whole number 3. This problem is a little bit different from those that you've seen before. Please do that. Giovanni, please write this down, babe. We're going to multiply both sides by a positive 3. When I multiply this side by a positive 3, the 3 is going to cancel out on the bottom. And now you're just left on this side with 9x plus 16. Bring down the inequality here is less than. And what is 7 times 3? 21. Okay. You're going to do the same thing with number 2. All right, so now when you do this, you're going to get rid of the 16 first. It's a positive 16. The inverse or opposite of a positive 16 is to subtract 16 on both sides. When you subtract 16 over here, 16 minus 16, this gives us 0. And we're left with 9x on this side of the inequality. Bring down the less than. Section 2, restroom. 21 minus 16. What's 21 minus 16? Okay, we got 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It's 5. Okay. Now we got to get rid of the 9. The 9 is attached to x by multiplication. What's the opposite of multiplication? So you're going to divide both sides by a 9. Here, 9 divided by 9 gives you 1 or 1x. Bring down the less than symbol. And then you're going to keep this as a fraction as long as the fraction is reduced. 5 over 9 is already reduced. So our answer is 5 over 9. X is less than 5 over 9. Pause for the cause to give you a chance to write. Let's do one that's similar to that. 2 is a little bit different. Let's go down and do number 7. Number 7, you would work out just like you worked out number 1. So I want you to take the time to do number 7, please. Okay? See if you can do 7 on your own. All right, let's try another one. I'm going to show you how to do one that looks like number 3. Okay? We're going to use the same steps for solving equations. Okay? So here, Kason, sit up, please. So here, we're going to move the variables to the same side. Distributive properties first, but you don't see distributive property. So we're going to move the variables to the same side. This one is 1K. 1K is smaller. It's a positive 1K. So to move 1K to the other side, you're going to subtract 1K from both sides. 5K minus 1K. What is 5K minus 1K? Somebody said it. 4K. Bring down the minus 7. Bring down the inequality. This is less than or equal to. K minus K is gone, is 0, and you're left with 1 over here. Now, in order to get K by itself, you got all the K's on the same side. You're going to isolate K by getting rid of anything you can add or subtract to remove. Which one of these do you remove first, the 4 or the minus 7? Which one do you remove first, the 4 or the minus 7? The minus 7. How do you move minus 7? You add 7. I need you to sit in your regular seat, baby, because I was going to mark you not here. I was getting ready to do a search party on you. All right. This is plus 7. Okay. This gives you 4K. Bring down the less than equal to, and this gives you 8. All right, so now what are we going to do? Arturo, I need you to sit in your regular seat, please. Now what are we going to do to get K by itself? How do we get rid of the 4? We divide. We're going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 gives us 1. So this is 1K. Bring down the inequality to less than or equal to. What is 8 divided by 4? 2. Okay. So now you're going to do number 5. We'll pause for the calls to give you a chance to get number 5 completed. All right. Anyone still copying number 3? Okay. All right. Let's look at number 4. Let's look at number 4. Okay. Number 4. We do not have distributive property here, so we can't use distributive property. Combine like terms. You can't combine anything on this side nor on the other. They're not like terms. So now we're going to move the variables to the same side. I'm going to move the smaller one. I'm going to move the negative 6. How do you move a negative 6v to this side? What's the opposite of that? You add 6v to both sides. Okay. When you add 6v on this side, what's negative 3v plus 6v? What's negative 3v plus the 6v? 3. So we get a positive 3v. Very good. Bring down the plus 7. Bring down the greater than sign. Negative 6v plus a positive 6v is 0, and you're left with just 5 over here. Now what am I going to do in order to get v by itself? What do I move first, the 3 or the 7? Do I move the 3 first or do I move the 7? 3 or 7? 7. I move the positive 7. Move any number that you add or subtract to remove first. What do I do to get rid of the positive 7? How do I move a positive 7? What's the opposite of that? What's the opposite of a positive 7? It's a negative. Very good, Amari. So I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. All right. Positive 7 minus 7 gives us 0. And we're left with 3v. Bring down the inequality. What is 5 minus 7? What is 5 minus 7 equal to? Negative. It's a negative. Count again. -2. Okay. Got it? Now what are we going to do to get rid of this 3 that's attached by multiplication? Divide. Very good, Ricardo. We're going to divide both sides by a positive 3. When we divide both sides by a positive 3, 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. So that's 1v. Bring down the greater than sign. And then leave this as a fraction, unless you want to change it to a decimal. This is -2/3. This fraction is reduced. I'm going to pause for the calls to give you a chance to write. All right. So now let's look at number 6. Okay, you should have done, you're going to do 5 and 7 on your own. Let's do number 6. Number 6 is very similar to number 7. It's also similar to number 1 that we've done, okay? This problem looks a little different because it has a denominator of 2. In order to solve a problem like this, we got to get rid of the 2 first. This is division. What is the opposite of division? So in order to get rid of this denominator of 2, we got to multiply the whole number 2 on both sides. When we multiply 2 on both sides, that's going to cancel the denominator out on this side. And we're left with what's on top, the numerator, the expression -6 plus 7r. This is a less than symbol. And now we're going to multiply. What's 11 times 2? 22. Very good. Now we've got to get r by itself. Which one of these numbers do we move first? -6 or the 7? We get rid of the -6 first. What's the inverse of subtracting or a -6? What's the opposite of this? Adding. Very good, babe. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. We use the inverse operation to remove numbers or terms. We're isolating r. So we got rid of the 6 first by adding 6 on both sides. -6 plus 6 is 0. And we're left with the 7r. Bring down the inequality just like we would an equal sign. What is 22 plus 6? This is 28. Now what are we going to do in order to get rid of the 7 that's attached by multiplication? We're going to divide both sides by a 7. 7 divided by 7, or 7 goes into 7 one time. So we're left with 1r, or just r. Bring down the less than symbol. 28 divided by 7 gives you what? 4. So r is less than 4. Any number that's less than 4 is going to be the answer. So 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, all of those could be possible answers. I'm going to pause for the calls to give you a chance to write. Anyone still writing? I don't see anybody writing, do you? Langston, do you have it copied? Okay. All right, let's do number 8. All right, for number 8, again, the first step is distributive property. So you're going to multiply 3 times both numbers or terms in the parentheses. Distributive property comes first. Just bring down the negative 16 plus 7Q. This is less than or equal to? What is 3 times 3? 9. What is 3 times a positive 4Q? 12Q. Good job, babe. The second step is to combine like terms. I cannot combine these two terms on this side of the inequality because they're not like terms. Nor can I combine these two terms on this side of the inequality because they are not like terms. So now I'm going to move the variable to the same side. Okay? It doesn't matter which one I move. Which one do you prefer to move? Do you want to move the 7Q or the 12Q? Which one do you want to move? 7. What's the opposite? Thank you, Miss Peaches. What's the opposite of adding a 7Q? Subtracting it. So we're going to subtract 7Q on both sides. On this side of the inequality, 7Q minus 7Q is 0. This is gone. And we're left with the negative 16 on this side. Bring down the inequality. On this side, we have 12Q minus 7Q. What's 12Q minus 7Q? That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What's that? 5. Please use your fingers and your toes. That's 5Q. Now what are we going to do to get Q by itself? How do we get Q by itself? No, we don't want to can't get rid of the 5 first. It's attached by multiplication. Get rid of the 9. How do you get rid of a positive 9? Subtract 9. Very good. So we have negative 16 minus 9. That's the same as negative 16 plus a negative 9. We know our answer is going to be a negative. What does that give us when we add those two together? Negative 1. This gives us a negative 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 9 minus 9 is 0, and we're left with 5Q. Now what are we going to do to get Q by itself? How do we get rid of this 5? You're going to divide. This is multiplication between the 5 and the coefficient and the variable, or 5 and the Q. So the opposite of multiplication is division. You're going to divide both sides by a positive 5. What's negative 25 divided by a positive 5? Negative 5. Very good, Ricardo. Bring down the inequality. And now we have 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we have 1Q or just Q. Mark out number 2 at the top of the page. We're not going to do number 2. And you need to make sure that 5 and 7 is completed. And then I'm going to collect this for a grade. Please make sure that you complete 5 and 7. I'm going to pause for the calls. Anybody still writing number 8? I'm sorry. I moved it real quick. Okay. Let me go back to number 8. I'm going to pause it there. While you're waiting, please put the coloring sheet in front of you if you've already finished these, and raise it up in the air if you've answered question number 5 and 7. 5 and 7 should be answered. Raise it up in the air when you're done with 5 and 7. I'm going to use the back side of this paper, or you can use some scrap paper to answer these questions since I have your sheet for a grade. I'm going to do the first one. The first one is a negative 90 greater than or equal to 18x. All right, how am I going to get x by itself? How do I get rid of the 18? What operation is between 18 and x? Multiplication, so you are going to divide, babe. So we're going to divide both sides by positive 18. So look, we have negative 90 divided by 18. Don't forget that the negative sign is down here. What's negative 90 divided by negative 5? So we got negative 5 is greater than or equal to x. Or if you write x over here, remember x is going to be smaller and negative 5 is still bigger. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Which one is that? That is orange. So we are going to color number ones. We're going to color all the number ones, or the places that we see number 1. We're going to color it orange. Okay, we'll color number 1's orange. Every place that you see number 1, we're going to color it orange. You see one? You see it now? Okay, we're going to color the ones orange. You see right here, orange. This is orange. This is orange. Okay. See, this is orange. This is orange. This big space right here is number 7. So we got orange here, orange here. Now we're going to do number 2. X divided by 3 is equal to a negative 8. X divided by 3 is greater than a negative 8. It's orange. Number 1 is orange. All right, so now this is division. What's the opposite of division? So we're going to multiply both sides by the whole number or integer 3. This is going to cancel out, and I'm just left with the x. Bring down the greater than inequality. What is negative 8 times 3? Negative 24. Okay, so which one is that? Which one is that? That's going to be light green. That's going to be light green. It's going to be light green. Everywhere you see number 2 is going to be light green. So look for number 2. There's a couple bubbles. That's number 2. Number 2 here, number 2 here, number 2 here. This is light green. Number 2 in the middle right here. Number 2. That is light green. Number 3, we have this equation. X minus 10 less than negative 26. Please make sure you write that down. X minus 10 less than a negative 26. How do you get x by itself? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to get x by itself? You're going to add what? Somebody said it, I think. 10. Add 10 to both sides. Type this in. This gives us 0. This side gives me X. Bring down the less than. It is what kind of 16? Positive or negative? This is negative 16. What color is that going to be? The mouth is open to the negative 16. It's number 3.
Orange, red, light blue. It's orange, light purple.
It's light purple. It's light purple. See how it's open to the negative 16. That means that the X is smaller than 16. Negative 16 has to be bigger. Here, negative 16 is bigger. So it's light purple. This is number 3.
Do we leave the calculator?
Huh?
Do we leave it on the table?
No. Oh, is the time already? Yeah, it is. Please put your calculators back. I didn't realize what time it was. Stack the color pencils in the center of the table and put your papers in your folder.